Can you hear me all right? Bring it up a little.
A little bit.
All right. I lived for 19 and a half years with a mostly psychologically abusive husband, raising 2 daughters in 4 different states. I say mostly psychologically abusive because theoretically I had it good. I was body blocked against a wall, kicked in the rear, had my face and other body parts squeezed too hard, was threatened with a fist, tickled too hard, and was blocked when trying to get from one room to another just for the fun of it. The police were involved on 2 occasions in Montana and South Dakota, and in both cases they were so helpful and so aware, and I have nothing but praises for their efforts on my behalf. Otherwise, it was the relentless mind games, where the stakes were the safety and well-being of the children, scary unknowns, and wondering how weird does this type of weird get. There were no bruises, but I was always aware of the hunting rifle in the closet. The obvious insults and challenges were easier than the relentless and almost invisible mind games that required tension, vigilance, caution, wariness hour after hour, day after day, month after month, year after year. If he was out of the house, I could feel the tension rise as his return time neared and performance would start. I considered every word an actual action for potential retaliation, which was usually some other mind game. If I refused to play that one, it would surface at some other, maybe worse time. I heard him say many times, "You don't address my concerns, so I'm not going to address your concerns." Well, my concerns included parenting issues, driving while drinking, fits of pickiness and anger, strong favoritism of one daughter over the other, and a multitude of controls, insults, and manipulations. So I played the mental game for the best outcome. I felt a fight or flight instinct frequently, but always pushed it inward where it didn't show. Over time, I began to feel seriously unbalanced, unsure of myself, afraid of unknowns, indecisive, and helpless. It took me 5 years to recognize it as abuse. Prior to that, I told myself he was picky, that he was wounded from a difficult childhood, and I tried to love and honor him. I read books on building his self-esteem, on how men think, and more. Later, these books changed to books about alcoholism, tough love, psychology, self-help, and abuse. I saw counselors alone. We had counseling together, and he played the game, but nothing changed at home. I talked with 6 pastors in 4 states, attended Al-Anon meetings, and secret support groups. You're probably wondering why I hadn't left long ago. These reasons applied. He was nice, Dr. Jekyll, a good part of the time. He was nice, he was good, and I hoped that his good self would realize what he was doing, and that the issues could be resolved, and to preserve the family and a dream of a family. I was a Christian, and I hoped as a Christian that God would help us out. I loved my kids, and I loved him. My kids loved their fun, sweet, affectionate dad when he was that role. The more I thought, that I saw more of abuse than they did, or so I thought. I thought I was the one seeing most of it. I had become confused and afraid of unknowns, less able to calmly evaluate alternatives. I was financially inferior. I had come to perceive myself as weak and unstable. I was the one threatened, or the one that was being treated for depression and anxiety. No one else seemed to see the problem, so it'd be my word against his. You guys know all this. You're in this role, you know. There was no way to prove his actions in court to protect the kids. I didn't trust the court system to protect my kids. I didn't want to be away from my children part-time. I didn't want to keep them away from their dad. I didn't want children alone with their dad when he was Mr. Hyde, unprotected. I didn't want divorce and custody issues to further damage my kids, and I couldn't determine the lesser evil. Staying, leaving, playing the game as it stood, or changing to unknown rules. I didn't want him to be more angry and able to manipulate 2 vulnerable individuals. see the future. Solutions were not simple, like you just said. The stakes were high, and I was exhausted with trying to figure it out. Long-term stress weakens the adrenal system, affects memory, sleep, anxiety, cortisol production, decision-making, ability to think clearly, mood regulation, hormone levels, on and on. I was moving is weird to get. And I found that utterly terrifying on a profound level. It was like walking through the woods with an animal not knowing whether he was going to walk beside you, protect you, or tear your throat out. So how did I get to that point? Why would an intelligent, educated woman from a healthy middle-class family end up in this situation? I will answer that, but first stop. These very questions, how does she end up in the situation? Why doesn't she leave? Can be literal, wanting to understand the dynamics of abuse. Yet they are paired with questions like, why does he abuse? And how will we make him stop? These are also very widespread, almost hardwired mindset to focus on the victim as being somehow responsible. This is an instinct. This is not it's not a meanness. It's just a way to try to believe that there is some control that we can put on this. You know, that there's something that we can do, so the victim could have done something. What may she have done to provoke it? Understandable questions, but it is important to be aware that a victim is not responsible for the actions of a perpetrator, and looking at her positive actions obscures the real question. Why does he abuse to control? And how can we make him stop? Why do they abuse to control? And how can we change a culture that produces and excuses violence? Back to my answer, how I got there. I honestly loved and respected a nice guy enough to love and marry him. He wasn't perfect, but who is? He was making straight A's in civil engineering. He was taking care of business, was polite, real, good-natured. He could be a little impatient at times, suggested I could do some things differently. And on one occasion, he had out of proportion hurt feelings. I probably still wouldn't see them as red flags because they were normal. It's the way people are. It happens all the time. After we were married, and I mean the next day, he changed. And if you've heard the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you know that Dr. Jekyll is smart and kind, but plays with his dark side and becomes Mr. Hyde, a monster. Eventually he changes from good man to monster without warning. It's a good description of my husband. I was first shocked and bewildered. What was going on? Where was the nice man I married? I didn't understand abuse, which is based on the need to control and have power over another. So I tried to address what I thought was a nice guy with issues. A man who I respected and considered worth hanging in. 6 weeks into our marriage, and in spite of responsible efforts not to, we became pregnant. Instead of wondering if I should leave, I then wondered if I could leave. And I wondered what the consequences would be lifelong for this baby. I didn't see him as a man who would just quietly back away if I left with our child. I could not see my child and me living in hiding for a lifetime. I could not yet believe that I had been so wrong about the man I married. I made a checkbook error and he threw the typewriter at the wall and then spent the next half hour smashing it to fragments and keys with a rock. The sausage was overdone or underdone, or consolidated. He was an engineer. The eggs were overdone or underdone, as was the toast. Shirts had to be hung just right. He was enraged by cold pizza and warm beer. He would drop newspaper rubber bands on the carpet, then later insist that they would ruin the vacuum cleaner and should be picked up by hand, just to see if I would do it, just to see if it was worth the effort. I spent almost 20 years, I won't repeat the names that he was calling. I was gonna say also that he spent really on loads of things. He spent quite a bit of money. He would not even consider a vaporizer or a stroller for a baby. I won't repeat the names he called me, but when I heard a new rule, learned a new rule, he would change it. I spent almost 20 years trying to prove to him that I wasn't insert an evil name. But my efforts to love and honor him were not enough to change his opinion of me, or to try to manipulate me to act as he wished. The abuse advanced to other things, to the mild physical violence, taking my car keys and leaving, insulting me in front of others, controlling money, and trying to deny me medical care when my face became paralyzed. A favorite was to accuse me of not backing up the rules with the kids. Then, when I would do what he asked and back up his rules with the kids, he would coo to them, well, maybe mommy will reconsider. So it was always games. At first I honored his many concerns out of love for the man I married, then to avoid unpleasantness, then from exhaustion and fear of dealing with the backlash and the alternate games, then the fear of the way he could influence my feelings, then fear of what would be required to actually stop it, leaving, and what ripples that would occur for our kids. Their inability to do anything else, or then the inability to do anything else because he had me under his control, especially financially and regarding the safety of the kids. I explained to him what he was doing to us, but he didn't stop. I asked him to stop. He didn't stop. You wonder why I didn't insist he stopped. Because I had tried it 1,000 times and it was pointless. If I told him something bothered me or hurt me, then he knew what it was and he would do it more. If I didn't say anything to him, he would do it again just because it was still fun. It was all about control. I didn't insist because I knew that raising my voice or using what he called my pointed tone of voice would provoke anger and make it worse. And it would bring the girls into it. And if I showed anger, he showed more anger. Further, just how would I insist? Physically leave? That's about it. What about the kids and the retaliation? If I was to shove him away when he was in my face, he would file against me for abuse. Or maybe give me the first beating that I was going to get. Or maybe he would go get the hunting rifle out of the closet and blow me away. The key thought is helplessness. I felt helpless because I was unable to influence him in any way except leaving. Helpless because it was a game I didn't understand and would never be the real relationship I had hoped it would be. I felt helpless because I had comparatively low income potential and low confidence. Helpless because I didn't